Hello and welcome to the last podcast for the year. I am your host, Sugar Ray, and wow, okay, Christmas tree. Well, it is Christmas, so thank you to Legion for the Christmas tree as well. Appreciate you getting in the Christmas spirit and that. So, how much did that cost you, getting that tree there?
I don't want to talk about it.
Really? Yeah, well, that's the way the world's going with prices. And that's, how you going, Legion?
I'm hanging in there,
We're all hanging in there, but
literally and figuratively.
you're not actually are hanging. Like I can't show us where your arms are, and that's so. I was going to say give the.
I'll show you one arm.
Oh, like, you can't show the other arm yet.
No, I have that tied down.
Oh, you don't. Okay, rightio. We're not into kink shaming, so I'll just leave it at that, Mrs. Legion.
It's a full moon now, so I gotta keep myself tied down.
Okay, rightio. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Don't know what to say now. So yeah, we're getting into yeah, it's our last show of the year. It's funny as well because they've said Saturday night's main event is just a special, so it's not a pay per view and that. But we're still going to do our tips and that for it because yeah, I think it's going to be a real huge. So are you looking forward to Saturday night's main event?
Oh, I'm actually looking forward to it, and I'm guessing you want to do these tips just because you want a free win.
Listen,
You want your title back.
listen. I should have. We're going to talk about. Let's get into Survivor Series. We'll talk about that because that's on the rundown as well. So we'll talk about the first match as well, the women's war game match where Rhea's team defeated Nia's team and that. The opening half of this match was, and I commented on the show as well. It was extremely sloppy. Like
And that's saying it lightly.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've been loving the women's war games matches for a while now.
Yeah.
Or heck, even any women's match for a while now. But this one is like, they took 5 steps back.
Yeah, it was, and I don't know if it's blamed on the producers who gave the women a bit more leeway in what they did in the match and that. I don't know whose fault it is, but yeah, the first half was very. It picked up towards the end. Like, my favorite things of the match was I picked it as well when Tiffany came out with that trash can. I thought I didn't see her money in the briefcase with her, and I went, it's in the fucking thing. I knew it straight away. So
I will say this. I know she's been getting bashed on it hard. When Nia Jax did those chair shots, I kind of laughed and reminisced of Hulk Hogan.
listen, okay. I'm coming here to defend Nia. The last thing you want to do is hurt people, okay? And I know it's wrestling and you got to get hurt a bit, but like they were offering their heads to Nia, which I don't agree with, and that it's like she was just trying to do the right thing. Yes, they did look a bit weak, but you got to like.
No, I get what was going on because who came out second
For which team?
for Nia's team?
Second was
I can't remember.
God, I don't know if you can look
The
up.
reason I'm saying I think it's because she was taking too long to get into the ring, so Nia had to improvise on things.
And Nia has been renowned in the past for hurting people, so maybe that was going through her head. Maybe she didn't want to hit him too hard as well. So, well,
That too, like I said, I think it was either that on top of trying to stretch it out until she got into the ring because
Yeah.
it was taking way too long.
yeah, maybe as well. But
That's the only thing. That's the only thing I got kept, popped in my head when that happened.
like the match picked up as well, especially till the end where Io Sky did her flip with the trash can on her, and Tiffany Stratton did a swanton from the other side. That was a really good part of the match as well.
That swanton. Honestly, people should have been talking about that more than Io's trash can jump
Yeah,
because that was amazing.
yeah, it's yeah, Tiffany, like she was. I'm gonna spoil this. She was my runner-up in the female wrestler of the year for me. So I'm just saying that right now.
Oh.
So bit of spoiler for later on.
Yeah.
Let's go with the next match. Shinsuke winning the US title from L.A. Knight. Yeah. Sorry, I had to do it. You got to do it now every time you say L.A. Knight's name. Well done to you, because I was actually going to pick Shinsuke as well, but I thought, you know what, I don't want to be that person and just pick that because that would actually have me win as well. But
Honest,
look,
I did that pick out of what's the word I'm looking for? Out of sympathy for him.
yeah, because the last thing he's re-debuted. By the way, I know we talked about it. I love his new song as well. It fits the character, and the presentation on the night of him was like, I went, holy crap! Like you could tell Triple H really loves Shinsuke, and I think it's
Oh,
yeah.
speaking of, I hate to interrupt because as soon as you said that, it popped in my head. You probably saw, I don't know if you saw, but it was Triple H who choreographed his
Yeah,
entrance.
yep, yeah. That's Triple H has a vested interest in Shinsuke, and like in an alternate world, an alternate universe, I think Shinsuke would have been at least probably 3 or 4 time world champion by now. The fact that he hasn't won the world
Oh
title
yeah,
yet is a disgrace as well. So
I blame Vince,
yeah, well, yeah,
and that's and that's not a joke.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. No, yeah, it's. I feel like number one, he probably should have won at Mania where he faced AJ. He probably should have won that match and still done the heel turn afterwards. It would have been still worked. I feel anyway. That's a different thing, but yeah, good to see Shinsuke win the title as well. I will say LA Knight. I think now he's got the right opponent to win the title back off and that. So hopefully they can have a good little program going into the Royal Rumble. I see LA Knight winning the title before WrestleMania, and I think he'll defend the title at WrestleMania against Logan Paul. Just I think Logan will come in and catch his rematch on him. That's just a little spoiler I had. Now the next match, the triple threat match. You know I hate saying the word banger. Banger. I hardly know her. I'm sorry I had to put that out there and that, but this was. I don't know what Sheamus and triple
Oh,
threat matches have, but this was match of the night by far. It was an incredible
I've
match.
noticed every time Sheamus is in a match, especially on a pay per view, it's if not the match of the night, it's the second match of the
Yeah,
night.
he's just a really amazing worker in that. So it showed as well in the match. Like we all thought when he did the bro kick on Braun, and then the ref was going out for the cover, and then Ludwig pull him out. Like I thought he won I thought he would have won a title, and I wouldn't mind if he won a title over Braun as well. Somehow maybe him pinning Ludwig as well, but all three like Braun looked really good in this. Ludwig Kaiser, I'm starting to get on board with. Like I nearly think
Yes,
I nearly think next year he can actually win a title. Like maybe go back to NXT and win the North American title or the NXT title and that. But I'm a real fan of him. And
I don't see him going back to NXT because he's shining on the roster,
yeah,
main
yeah.
roster.
It's just because like Dominic Mysterio did it, Dolph Ziggler did it. So just an idea that they could
Yeah.
maybe have him for a couple of months. Who knows? Um, the world title between Gunther and Damian Priest was really good as well. I really enjoyed that match. A real surprise to see Gunther and Damien go at it again. But as I said, they're tapping into after Gunther lost to Cody at the Saudi event. Why am I forgetting what was it called again? Why am I forgetting the Saudi
Crown
event?
Jewel.
Crown Jewel. Thank you. Really tapping into he's lost his confidence in that, so maybe Damien had a chance in that. So, yeah, it was I think Priest is shining more without the title. Like he's when he had the title,
Oh yeah, 100%.
when he had the title, his best match was against Gunther when he lost the title as well. So um,
And I didn't like the finish. That's the one thing I didn't like. Was the
uh,
match was amazing
yeah,
for the finish.
I think they needed to make Gunther look strong, and we knew the interference was going to come as well. I kind of, with Saturday night's main event happening, I kind of thought it might have been a fatal four-way, including Dominic as well, because you saw the Monday after, like people were cheering Dominic in the match against Gunther for a bit. I was really shocked. I thought, wow, and then I thought I actually like this Dominic as a face. I know you've talked about saying
No,
he should never
I
be faced.
don't see him as as a face. I see him. He can play as we call a tweener.
Yeah,
Really good. He can do
I
it.
saw like he's the second coming of Eddie Guerrero. He's really is becoming the second coming of Eddie Guerrero. Just the way he moves and he's gesturing and all that stuff. So if he could be half as good
What,
as Eddie, like he's set
let
already.
Let me ask this then for everybody else watching as well. What would you think of him pretty much reiterating the lie, cheat, steal persona?
I I wouldn't mind. Like, we're seeing wrestlers take on, what's the old saying? Um, Flattery, like imitation is the biggest form of flattery or whatever it is. I forget. Hopefully I got
Yeah,
it along the line, and that. So I wouldn't
I
mind
think
it.
that's the, I think that's the smart way.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen who we see. We've seen. I don't know if you remember TNA, but we saw. Do you remember the wrestler Shark Boy?
Oh Lord, yes.
You know who he started like imitating Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I'm just saying it's there. Curtis Axel with Hulk
Well,
Hogan.
technically, if you look at Dominic right now and you put an old picture of Eddie Guerrero
Yeah, he does look like
next
him.
to him,
Yeah,
they look almost identical.
yeah. Anyway, we could keep
It's
on.
scary.
We could keep on talking. So then the main event,
Anyway,
the men's war games match was just phenomenal. Not so much the wrestling, but the storytelling was just amazing. And it's unfortunate we're going to talk about this later on in the news and that, but there were some fairly unfortunate injuries that could have been avoidable. But yeah, what did you think? Did you? I was waiting for at the end. I was waiting for either Seth Rollins to come out and attack, CM Punk or someone like that. But yeah, what did you
that
think?
one I knew he wasn't gonna come out. It's just like it wouldn't have made any sense for that to happen.
Yeah. But yeah, like I
But
feel like
the match was amazing.
the match was really good as well. So what do you? I don't know if we're going to do. I'm thinking next year we might include some ratings on the matches. I don't know, but out of 10, I'd give it a solid 8, and that. So
For the entire pay per view,
for the entire pay-per-view, the only downer was the women's war game match. I think.
I would give it a solid 7.
Yeah, 7 or 8. I can see that as well. So, but yeah, it was a really good event, and I was really happy for it. And the 1 year to the day, well, close to 1 year to the when CM Punk returned as well. And I was glad to see him not get injured. Unfortunately, he injured someone, but glad to see he didn't get injured. So yeah,
Yeah, and that's the one match that actually is injury prone.
yeah. As we saw, 3 injuries in that. But anyway, let's get into the question I'm going to ask you this week, Legion. Let me just get to the thing so I can actually. I know the question, but I got to talk it out and that. With what we saw recently, with by the way, we'll talk about it in the news. But what is your most memorable wrestling breakup? Now, if you want to go wrestler, manager, tag team, faction, whatever, and that. But what is yours? This is with the new. The thing is, we can't include the New Day as well because I think both of us would have included the New Day because.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but what's your most memorable breakup?
Mine is I just have one favor to ask of you.
Okay.
Me and you are friends, right?
Last time I checked, yeah.
Please don't hold a festival of friendship.
Well, you were on the list. Now you're off the list. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That breakup of Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho broke my heart.
Yeah.
I love that duo. I really, really did.
It was. Yeah. Wow. I was not expecting that as well. Like when I was having a look at all the breakups just to remind me, even though I already had my number one. But yeah, I saw that one there. I went, well, I actually forgot about it as well. So
the thing is, everybody thinks of those other face team breakups.
yeah.
No one thinks heels.
Yeah, heels as well, especially that one.
You like that swerve, didn't you?
Uh it was interesting. Do you want to hear my favorite?
Yeah, let's hear it.
See, this breakup never gets talked about too much as well. It's I'll take you to the year 1996, SummerSlam. Undertaker versus Mankind in the Boiler Room Brawl. The ending of the match where Paul Bear, who had been part of the Undertaker since he basically came into WWE, I know it was Brother Love for a bit, but yeah, Paul Bear turning his back on the Undertaker, and then Mankind getting in the mandible claw and all that stuff, and then Paul Bear laughing, putting shots into the Undertaker, and that's the one I don't think it's talked about as much. And then at the end when he hits him with the urn and then gives the urn to Mankind as they go off, and also Mankind's music at the time was the piano playing. It just really added to the atmosphere. It was a dour atmosphere, and that's one of the most memorable. Of course, I could have talked about what are the ones we could have talked about? Evolution, The Shield, DIY, the Rockers, yeah, the Mega Powers, all this stuff. But for me, that's one that doesn't get talked about, and it's really sad because I literally teared up watching it because I've been a huge.
That's the funny thing is like, how many times has he turned on it?
That was the first time ever.
I know, but he's turned on him several times after that.
Yeah, I know, but it was just the first time, just for me. Like, you know, I thought they would have gone their whole career in WWE without separating and that. So we had, of course, take a turn on Paul at the concreted crypt match. I don't know if you remember that. And then there's a couple other times.
I saw videos on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a good pick. We better get on to the news quickly as well. So,
Yeah.
let me talk. What are we going to talk about first in the news? Sorry, my bad. Since we're talking about breakups, let's talk about the New Day breakup. The event 2 weeks ago when they had their 10-year celebration and they're coming out and they're all there, we all knew it was coming. We just didn't realise, A, it was how they were going to do it, and B, how impactful it was going to be. Personally, I didn't
think it was going to happen that night.
I knew it was going to happen that night. Like, I feel like they broke it up. But as soon as, like, and then with the added thing of Big E coming out, you know, they're talking about, this ain't on the fans now. Then Big E comes out and talks about how he was going to be, like, I popped when he said he was going to be their manager. I thought, holy shit, maybe they're not going to turn. Like, maybe this is not. And then, you know, Woods with the Where Were You and all that stuff. Like, I thought, okay, so it's going to be Xavier Woods. And then Kofi chiming in as well. Like, I thought, okay, I did not see this coming. And it might
Would
be...
you ever see the day of you booing Kofi Kingston?
No, well, we did, when New Day started, we did boo him and that, so...
But that wasn't really a boo. It was more like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's, I honestly we never thought I'd see the day we'd boo Kofi and that. And I'm all for a New Day heel turn as well.
But what are your thoughts on the aftermath?
You're talking about this what happened on this Raw Monday, or like?
Yeah, this past Monday.
I could say I watched. My initial thought when they came out and those boos were just coming down, I thought these are piped in. They have to be piped in, and that. I'm sorry I'd have to think like that. It's just my mind and that. But then I saw videos from the Raw and that, and they were not piped in. Someone from the crowd, like literally on the railing, they were filming and with the mic and that, and they couldn't hear him. Like, I went, holy.
Yeah, I saw that same video.
I went, this is next level. This is beyond Dominic Mysterio heat. This is...
And that is an achievement.
Yeah, that is an achievement in that. So I'm all for the New Day heel turn and that. And if it's possible for Big E to... If he can have one more match with either Kofi... Who would you have him face, Kofi or Xavier? If you would.
Probably Xavier, because he's the one who initiated it.
I wouldn't mind... And the original story was apparently before he got released, Odyssey Jones, he was going to be there, and they were going to choose Odyssey Jones over Big E.
Yes.
And that, so...
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So, if they would have a tag team match at Mania, I don't know who Big E would get as a tag team partner in that, but I'm more than happy for this to be a WrestleMania match, and I hope, as long as there's no, like with Big E with his neck injury, which still... I saw that live, and that was so scary. It was... You see, I've seen videos of wrestlers dumped on their neck and that, and it's so frightening. Like, it's... Yeah. Hopefully he can have a match at one more. If he can have one more match, then that'll be it. I'm more than happy for him to do it with the New Day and that, but yeah. Since we're talking New Day, do you have a favourite New Day moment as well?
Oh, my favorite New Day moment.
I know there's probably too many of them.
I think it was was it a WrestleMania?
Yeah.
It wasn't the match itself, it was their entrance. It was the Big Bootios box, right?
Yeah.
Remember that day?
They make sure
tipped over and they came out and they came out dressed as Dragon Ball Z characters.
And also they make sure you ain't booty. I love that
I
line
miss
as well.
those
Yeah,
days.
yeah, and that's
I miss those days.
yeah. I'm just trying to
But
think what Mania it
like
was.
when they came out and they all came dressed like Saiyans
I'm not a
from
big
Dragon Ball
I'm not
Z.
a big Dragon Ball guy, unfortunately, so I can't really think of the Mania. So please don't hate me, anyone that's watching and that, so listening and that. So I've watched a couple of shows, but I just couldn't get into it. I'm sorry. So are you a big Dragon Ball Z fan? Are you?
Z, yes. Anything after that, no.
Okay, like that's obviously we'll have to do another podcast on that. So yeah, for me, it's I like to go for the offbeat moments. I don't know if you remember a Raw when they did the time machine and that.
Oh, to be honest, that literally just popped in my head.
Yeah. Just the moment where they go back to 2008 and you hear Kofi Kingston's original music and he starts doing the accent and comes out. And then you just see Xavier or Big E, they grab him and say, come back in here. And like he's no, I was happy in 2008. Leave me here. That moment always, I just remember that moment and have a giggle. I mean, of course, we could have gone Kofi Mania as well.
Isn't that when they were feuding against the Vaudevillains?
Yeah, the Vaudevillains, yeah, as well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we could mention Kofi Mania as well. Big E winning the title as well. Xavier winning the King of the Ring for good moments and that. But yeah, that's probably be my one. Yeah, all right. So, where do you actually like it's? They could go so far with this New Day heel turn as well. So yeah, I'm just really for it. Also, let's get into other news. The SmackDown this week and the start of SmackDown. They announced as well, Michael Cole and Corey Graves started talking about the transfer window as well, which makes, with the upcoming move to Netflix as well, they're talking about it. Now, people don't know much about the transfer. Do you know much about the transfer window and that?
For what I got out of it, it's like a mini draft in a sense.
Yeah.
So,
It's,
yes, but it's a draft, but without the draft.
Yeah.
So you don't know who's going to come to which brand until it happens.
They do it in European soccer a lot as well. Like I think it's more of a soccer thing as well. Sorry, I know. Well, let's not get into what football is because you're American. You call gridiron football. I'm Australian. I call AFL football. And there's some places here where they call rugby. Anyway, it's more
there's
of a
football and there's football.
Yeah, it's more of a soccer thing as well. Like the transfer window would normally last maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks, and players, if they wanted, could go to a different team, and that's so, I'm more than for it. It makes sense, with the Raw going to Netflix as well, and they even announced on SmackDown as well. Kamala Hayes will be facing the first person part of the draft, the transfer window as well. So
there's a lot of speculation or rumors on who that will be.
Who do you think it'll be as well? Who do you think Kamala Hayes would work good with someone from Raw?
If it is who everybody says it is, I'll be all for it. Trick Williams.
Ooh, I have not heard that. I mean,
I've actually been seeing it all over social media about it on who it would be, and that's the number one that pops up.
I wouldn't mind that, With Raw, Netflix they want Cody, Roman, and CM Punk on Raw, and that it makes a lot of sense in that. I could see. What's your thoughts on the draft? Do you think the draft should be every year or every couple of years? What's your thoughts?
I would say every 2, maybe 3 years.
And then they could have these draft windows.
These transfer windows, once a year.
Yeah, once maybe twice, maybe once, after Mania.
But we'll know it's coming, but don't have it announced for us. Like, oh, we're expecting it now.
Yeah,
have it be a surprise.
Yeah, and that because they keep trying to do the big magic of the original draft and that, which I don't think they can go back to. And that the draft in 2002 with Raw and SmackDown, and that. But I'm all for this, Are there any other moves you want to see? I'm thinking more NXT moves as well. We probably also should mention quickly as well. NXT had the Iron Survivor. Congratulations to my man, Oba Femi, winning the. I think this guy's got the utmost unlimited potential next year. I actually see him winning a title next year as well, a main title next year. calling it right now. I just gave away something, so there we go. And also, someone you're a fan of. You're a fan of Julia, aren't you?
Oh, I'm a huge fan of her.
Yeah, she won the women's Iron Survivor match as well. So.
Yep. But take note on this, son. Two people who were not pinned at all during that match.
I actually forget. Steph wasn't pinned. Yeah.
She wasn't pinned, and I keep forgetting her name. I'm always going by her old name of Delta.
Is it? Oh, God, it's not Sol Ruska.
No. New. She's new.
Not the Australian. Why am I forgetting her name?
Yes, her.
Yeah. Oh, she didn't get. They didn't get pinned. Okay, right. Yeah.
She didn't get pinned either.
I didn't actually. I know you sent me a message. I didn't actually watch NXT yet, so I'm guessing it played into NXT this week as well. But both of those guys are getting the title matches at New Year's Evil, and that's so.
Yep.
I see.
And the one match I see, I want to see is the Trick Williams versus Oba Fett.
Yeah,
I want to see that.
Yeah, I think hopefully that's the night we crown Oba as a champion. I've enjoyed Trick as champion, but I think it's time that we get on the Oba train right now, because he's been killing it in NXT, absolutely killing it as well. Anyway,
because if he doesn't win, then his momentum's literally gone.
If he doesn't win, then I'd see him coming to main and that. So they had him off and that, and then they had him come back. So probably he should win. So then Trick goes on to main and he holds the title for 6 months and then goes to. I feel like the fact that he hasn't gone to main yet is pretty much, I don't know. I just don't like it in that. But we should move on. I'm all for the transfer window as well. It's a good move by WWE as well. All right. Next year, I'm going to get an animation for this. This is Sugar Ray's rant. I want to talk about the injuries at Survivor Series. There were 3 injuries. I thought there would be 4 because I don't know, when you were watching the match, you saw
yeah, there was only 3.
But the way that Jacob Fatu, after going for a flip, he landed on his leg a little bit. I thought,
that was supposed to happen, but he wasn't supposed to sell it like that.
Okay, right.
He did it anyway.
Okay. God. All right, so let's get out the. I will say I didn't see the Tongaloa one. Like that was because of CM Punk with the. Why am I forgetting it? The toolbox. Sorry, injured his pectoral and he's out for 3 to 4 months. I'm pretty sure. It's unfortunate for.
I knew he was out. I didn't read what took him out.
Yeah, it happened on SmackDown apparently. Like they showed SmackDown as well.
No,
yeah,
friggin'. That should be Punk's new tool now. Like you know how Triple H has the sledgehammer.
Yeah,
Punk is the toolbox. So he took out Drew McIntyre with it. Yeah, now he took out Tongaloa.
Maybe when he becomes a heel and that he'll start working with it. But also Jimmy Uso, fortunately broke his toe. I've never broken a toe in that, and apparently be out indefinite. Yeah. Now let me get to my rant. Bronson Reed broke his ankle and will probably miss now WrestleMania 41. I understand wrestlers need to push the limit as well, and it sold for a great moment between Punk and Roman, but I feel like we could have gotten there without Bronson Reed putting himself on the line and injuring himself and putting himself out in that. So it's there's been talk about that the blame should go to Punk for being too late pulling Roman off the table, because that caused. Bro, it was. Did you watch it when it happened? Because it looked really close.
I saw the slow motion.
Yeah,
it happened. It was gonna happen one way or another.
Yeah,
because it's the way his foot landed.
Yeah, it's apparently they talked about he had to maneuver his body a bit just to so Punk could get Roman off and that. I don't know which producer, asked. Number one, they should have done a test on crash mats and that. You remember? I don't know if you remember Rikishi when he splashed on Val Venus in a cage match in 2000, I think. I don't know if you remember that, but from the same height as what Bronson Reed did, but mind you, Rikishi actually landed on Val Venus and didn't hurt himself in that. So I just hate that a promising wrestler like Bronson Reed is now out for what 4 months now. We'll say probably at least 4 months.
least 4 months.
And I feel like they could have. Sometimes you just say no. Okay, I understand they take risk in that, and that like I don't know if you remember when Neville slid and broke his ankle under Chris Jericho. Do you remember that?
I do.
That is that.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's a freak accident. That Neville could have done nothing to do that and that, but this could have been this could have been avoidable. I feel like
that spot was too dangerous to begin with.
Yeah.
Along with what happened, it's the same thing what happened with Jimmy Uso Jimmy Uso.
But the thing
that shouldn't have been a thing.
But the thing with Jimmy is he had I think it was it Tamatonga on the table.
No, it was Jacob Fatu.
It was Jacob Fatu. So Jacob Fatu was there to break the fall for him. The only thing was
I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is like he could have still landed wrong.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I think
which he did. He did. That's what broke his toe.
Yeah, but like maybe they should have added a second table, something like that. Just I don't know. I'm really frustrated that we won't see Bronson Reed, who's been killing it lately. The feud he had with Braun Strowman before this, and then the matches with Seth Rollins, and that like now we don't get to see him for 4 months, and it's a shame. Okay, so I understand that they're entertainers and that, but sometimes I think the producers need to say, "Hey, we can't do that." You're that's 4 months of his WWE career that's gone, and that where he might have won a title, had a big push at the Rumble where he eliminated a few people, and that now he's got to build it up again, and that which they will hopefully, and that that's the end of my rant. Do you want to rebuttal to it?
I'm saying no. I agree with you 100%.
I'm actually shocked you agree with me.
He we'll discuss that later. But no, what I'm saying is he's had a monstrous push.
Yeah.
Not just as a monster, but just in general as a major heel in the company, bigger than anybody in recent times, and just went down the drain.
Yeah. Hopefully they can re-push him again when he comes back and that. Sorry, I got to do something in the background quickly.
He's abandoned us, people.
Do this live on screen. It's all good. It's fine. I saw that falling down. I didn't want it to fall down. It's all good. Let's get on to some AEW news, shall we? All right. So I don't know if you knew this, and I know a lot of people knew this, but AEW are going to have Grand Slam in February in Australia, which had it been anywhere else apart from Queensland, I would have gone. Actually, no. Queensland or WA I don't go to and that. But they've unfortunately had to move their show. So this is going back. It had been scheduled at the Brisbane Suncorp Stadium, which is a rugby league team, and that the Brisbane Broncos play there along with other things. Now they've moved it to the Brisbane Entertainment Centre. They're gone from a stadium that can hold 50,000 plus to a stadium that can only hold, I think the max is like 13,000 and that. Do you think AEW, number one, the guys who don't know much about Australia, had they did this in Melbourne or Sydney or even Perth, and that, like Perth with the Elimination Chamber, that was a 60,000 stadium, I think, and I'm pretty sure it was like 50,000 plus there and that. So AEW being a relatively new company, I know we've got former WWE stars like, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of, John Moxley, all these guys and that. They should have gone to either Sydney or Melbourne first, and I feel like they could have filled a 50,000 stadium, and that we have 50,000 capacity stadiums here in Melbourne and in Sydney and that. But do you think this is a bit of a downer on AEW and that?
To be honest, I hope I don't get heat for this, but no, it should be. This should be the right move. I've been actually saying this for a long time. Is they should downsize their arenas, because if you've seen their attendance records, I'm not trying to bash the company at all right here, but it's horrible. It's bad. It's bad for business.
There was actually a viewing. They did a view. Apparently TNA is getting more people watching them than on Collision at the minute, and that's TNT. this is what I love about TNA. They don't really care, and they're just going along with the thing. And now, for basically a company, a wrestling company that has got unlimited money, we think at the minute, and that for them to be losing to TNA, they would be really upset. And that,
Well, I can I can defend TNA in this sense, meaning reason behind it all is their partnership with WWE put them
yeah,
on the map a little more
yeah,
than people who didn't know about TNA very
yeah,
much.
I can see that as well. So
Because it allowed people to see TNA superstars actually compete outside of the Royal Rumble. Because when they're in the Royal Rumble, it's whatever, they're good. But when we see them in an actual match, different.
yeah. I also checked the prices as well for the up there, and their ticket prices were more than WWE. You think being in a new company, you want to be an alternative to the other wrestling company, so you make it a bit cheap. I'm not talking like go like
Make it affordable is
yeah.
pretty much the right
I'm pretty
word.
sure from what I think this is around the price and that. I think a WWE ticket from what I saw back in the day was well just the equivalent of we'll just say 100 and that we'll just there's 100 for a ticket. I don't know where the ticket was. I think the same price I saw for AEW I think it was about 150, and I went okay. Had they had the runs on the board, maybe I would consider that, but no, not that. That's just way too much of a price hike, and that. And I know we got to make money and that, but like you can't. I don't know. I just have a bit of an issue with that. So yeah, hopefully they can sell it the 13,000. The Brisbane Entertainment Centre they can sell it at and have a really good show because I want to see more wrestling programs down here in Australia as well. That's just me. Do you have any other little thoughts before we head on, Cryo?
About them downsizing.
Yeah,
That this should and it should not just for this. It just shouldn't happen just for this alone. It should be like a permanent thing. Stay downsized until you get once you have like sellouts like on a constant basis in these smaller venues, then upsize.
yeah,
That just goes, hey, your show's growing. But when you're in a big arena with, like for example, that holds 40,000 people, and you're only having, for example, only 5,000 in the arena, that's bad.
yeah. It really is. Yeah, it's yeah. Anyway, let's move on to some more AEW news. Don't know if you saw in the last couple of weeks, Penta has been released from AEW. There was talk about both Penta and Ray Phoenix coming to WWE, but unfortunately, and this is a bit one of when WWE used to do this with wrestler and their contracts, I really despised it. They add on months due to them being injured and all that stuff. Ray Phoenix, I don't know if you know about Ray Phoenix. Really, him and his brother are a really talented tag team, which I wouldn't mind seeing in WWE. They've added apparently a year onto his because he's been injured and that they've added a year onto his contract and that so he can't leave AEW for a year and they're not using him at the minute and that's really wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm normally really upbeat on AEW, but they are making a lot of stupid mistakes and this is one because number one, we won't see Penta and Ray come back to AEW after they're released, and that's really a shame because they were really good for the tag team division in AEW when it first started. Them and the Elite, why am I forgetting their names? Nick and Matt Jackson. Why am I forgetting their names? Young Bucks. Why did I forget their names? The matches they had were amazing, and Ray is even
like back in the early days.
Yeah, like when AEW started, and I'm talking 2019 and 2020, and that the matches they had. Even I think it's 2021. They had I think it was nearly the tag team match of the year, and that. But yeah, the fact that I'm just like I said. I remember Vince would always do it, adding months onto wrestlers' contract because they're injured, and then not using them. It's so wrong. Like they're there to make it like. Who wants to be? I know. Who wants you're a athlete and that you don't want to be sitting at home earning money for doing nothing. You want to be showing your craft while you can, because wrestlers only have.
Yeah, because the only thing I could think of is like if you know for a fact you're not going to use him for the rest of his contract, let him go.
Yeah, let him. Just let him go. Say hey.
But this right here because they knew WWE was interested in both Penta and
yeah. And
both,
Ray,
both of them.
yeah,
And thank you, Ray.
Yeah.
it's like Tony knew, and he's like, no, I'm keeping him. And it's by
Yeah, it
pettiness.
is by pettiness, and Vince used to do it as well, and it's terrible. I'm
And
sorry.
he and what makes it worse, I agree with you on that part. What makes this worse is that Tony, even I remember Tony Khan mentioning in the past, he does not like what Vince McMahon does. He hates it. He despises it.
Yeah, and yet
But
he's
yet
yeah,
he
it's
does
yeah
this.
doing that's
That's what that's where it all he I've been seeing this heat all over the place, and I'm agreeing with it. I'm sorry,
hmm,
and I haven't been subtle about it. I don't like Tony Khan. I'm not saying, oh, I hate AEW. No,
hmm,
I just hate him.
yeah, yeah,
I don't like him.
yeah. And we've people are allowed to voice their opinions and that, so it's a bit of a strong opinion hate as well. But I can, like I said, I can. There are a few things that he does that we don't agree, and that I like that. The only thing that I do like is that he's got another wrestling program up for other people to go to. That probably would be not be in WWE and that. But yeah, it's we'll talk about it later. I've got a challenge for you as well that we're going to introduce next year as well. So yeah, yeah. Hopefully Ray. Hopefully they can release him from the contract. Maybe have Ray pay to buy out of his contract so he can go perform. Because the fact that he's not performing is a disgrace. I'm sorry. So I'll just leave it at that. I hate to get a bit harsh on AEW, but if this was happening in WWE, we will be at the front line saying we do not like this as well. So no favoritism
Oh yeah,
here.
100%.
No favoritism here, as we always say. We like wrestling. Anyway, I'll go there. Let me get the next thing up while we do. One more bit of AEW news. Unfortunately, in the you know how I like my Continental Classic. Unfortunately, Juice Robinson got injured in a match and has been replaced as well. He broke a fibula in a match that I didn't watch as well. So, fortunately, he broke his leg and is out of the AEW Continental Classic as well. I didn't see him winning, but the fact that he's out now has been replaced by Commander as well, who's actually been doing well. So, get well soon to Juice Robinson as well. So, do you remember Juice Robinson in NXT?
I do. I just can't remember his name.
CJ Parker.
Thank you.
Do you know
Thank you.
who he was? Kevin Owens' first opponent in NXT as well. I actually watched.
Yeah, they weren't doing much with him when he was in WWE.
Yeah, but I just
It was like more of a jobber.
enhancement talent that, but just Kevin Owens' debut that night as well. Like the people knew him and that, and it was like that's when Sami Zayn won the title and when the whole shit happened as well. So, but yeah,
Yep.
it's yeah, CJ was a really good foil for him back in there. So wish him all the best in his recovery. Now we need to get on to some TNA news as well before we get into. I know everyone's waiting, including you there, Legion. You're waiting for the final of my fan fiction story as well. But TNA have got.
Patiently.
Was that sorry? Sorry.
Patiently. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, patiently. Sorry, I'm trying to get there as quick as I can. But we got this weekend they're having Final Resolution TNA. Let me go over a few matches before we go to the main one that we are interested in as well. Actually, they got a few more matches as well. So let me just go. We got Ace Austin versus Trent Seven, which should be a good one. Jordan Grace versus Rosemary. I don't know if I've told you about Rosemary, but like I've always enjoyed her work. She's probably my number. She's in my top 5 favorite female wrestlers of all time as well, and that's a big
Yeah,
statement.
when Rosemary returned, I honestly did not recognize her.
I actually don't think the blonde hair suits her, but she can do what
No.
she wants. Then we got Moose, the TNA X Division champion, challenging Kushida, and that should be a good match as well. Like Moose has been TNA ever since he's been there, and I've actually enjoyed his work as well in TNA. We've got the Hardys taking on the System, who is in a group with Moose in a tables match for the tag team titles. We've got Masha Slabovic versus Tasha Steele for the Knockouts title. I'll probably butcher their names. I'm sorry. And then we got Nick Mammoth defending the TNA World title against AJ Francis. You know who AJ Francis is?
Yep, I know exactly who.
Yep,
He is.
top. Can I say I know they bombed big time in WWE, but since he's been in TNA, he's been an amazing heel. The former
But
top dollar.
but there's always one thing he's always remembered by,
Yeah, that
and you probably know what it is.
flop over the ring.
Yep.
Yep.
Not the jump over, but the flop over.
Yeah, the flop over as well. Yeah, the fact, but since he's been in TNA, he's actually been real good heel and that. So Maybe we'll see him back in WWE, but maybe not in the near future and that. But the match we're all interested in is because it's Legion's favourite, isn't it? A 4-way match to determine the number one contender for the TNA World Title at Genesis. Genesis is the January pay-per-view, which will be 2 weeks before the Royal Rumble. We've got, in this match, we've got Steve Macklin versus Mike Santana versus Josh Alexander. I don't know if you've prepped it as well. Versus your boy.
Take his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
If they want to feature TNA, I know they're going to do. I don't know who they're going to put from TNA in the Royal Rumble, but have the title on Joe Hendry, and then have him in the Rumble. I feel like he needs to win this as well. I don't know your thoughts on this, Lee. Actually, I know your thoughts because you want him to win the title as well.
I'm sorry, but there's only a couple people in the wrestling world I'm extremely biased to, and he is one of them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I really like. I'm going to see if I can actually watch it as well, and hopefully see him win the match, and then we'll probably get disappointed at Genesis and that. But yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, I know when we do our picks or talk about wrestling, we should be unbiased, but when it comes to Joe Hendry and there's a few others, like literally, like I can name them on one hand.
Yeah.
I'm extremely biased too because I'm a big fan of them.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't.
Like we were talking about off stream as well. I heard about Joe Hendry and I've become a bit of a fan. Like still his ring work needs a bit of work, but I'm a huge fan. Anyway, that's done for the news.
You hear that, everybody? He's starting to believe.
I believe as well. Okay, so all right. Well, that's done for the news. Are you ready, Legion? And everyone else out there, are you ready? The story name will be revealed at the end of this. I'm going to go through this quickly because I got a little surprise at the end of this for Legion. All right. As you remember, at the end of part 4, because I'll go over and have a look at it, at Armageddon, after a great match, Roman defeated Solo. And that. So now Roman is in the Rumble. We go to the SmackDown after Armageddon. I called it Armageddon, and I don't know if they would have, I don't know what they called the December pay-per-view. I'm not calling it Saturday Night's Main Event. Anyway. Saturday Night's Main Event. Nick Aldis is in the ring. This is the end of SmackDown. He congratulates Roman on winning the match at Armageddon and therefore qualifying for the Royal Rumble. He's in there with the old, do you remember the old rolling thing that they had where the wrestlers would pick their numbers? They're going to see what number Roman will enter in the Rumble. As Nick is about to roll a thing, we hear The Rock's music. I kind of wish I would do The Rock's music here. And that. The Rock's music hits and The Rock comes out. A nice little moment where we have The Rock looking at Nick Aldis and Nick Aldis looking at The Rock. I think Nick deserves that, to be in the ring with The Rock and that. And he grabs the mic and says, "You are no longer needed, whoever your name is." Nick grabs the thing and goes, "I'm Nick Aldis, the SmackDown General Manager. Who the hell do you think you are?" And that. The Rock goes nose to nose with Nick's and insults him and says, "If you value your job, get out of my ring now." Nick leaves. Rock's there. Okay, let's see what number that Roman is going to be in the Rumble. Grabs a ball from the tumbler and that. Oh, would you look at that? It's number 1. I'm sorry, I had to do it. You know, we all knew it was going to be number 1. Then as The Rock is leaving, he gets up to the top of the thing with the mic and says, "Roman, as long as I'm in charge of WWE, you will never win the title again." SmackDown ends. Next week, we get a board meeting at TK. I don't know if we can do it at TKO or the WWE residence and that, but we see The Rock and I'm just trying to think of, I can't think of the other TKO guys, but we see Triple H rush into the room and says he wants to talk to Rock right now. Him and The Rock go nose to nose. I know there can't be any physical confrontation between both of them due to Triple H's heart and that, but they argue. Triple H is saying, you know, you have no right. I'm in charge of WWE and that you can't use your power. And that The Rock, you know, The Rock reminds him, if you didn't have a little heart issue, I would whip your ass all over WWE again. And that. And so we actually see Nick Khan. I don't know if you guys know Nick Khan, but he's part of the TKO thing. He goes, come on, guys, we can come to a bit of agreement. Why don't we give Roman some matches just to qualify higher for the Rumble and that? So The Rock agrees. He'll face 3 members of the Bloodline in current weeks and that. So we get that. 3 weeks before the Rumble, it's The Rock and Tonga Loa. Tonga Loa's not injured in this world, so I know he just recently got injured, but anyway. Tonga makes his entrance, Roman makes his entrance, bell starts, Tonga starts to go out, and he's pointing at Roman and laughing, saying you have no chance. Roman with a Superman punch takes Tonga Loa down. He goes to the corner, does the ooh-ah, spear, 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry to do it to Tonga, but makes sense. I'm sorry. We don't know what he's done, but he's got a win on the board. Anyway, 2 weeks before the Rumble, Roman beats Tama Tonga in a more competitive match, okay? We'll give him 10-15 minutes and that, but yeah. To show Tama Tonga as well is really good, but yeah, Roman gets the win again. 1 week before the Rumble, in fact, it'll be 8 days before the Rumble as well. Roman is scheduled to face Solo, but oh no, Solo says, I can't wrestle tonight, but I found a nice little opponent for you. A newly turned heel Tommaso Ciampa in my world as well. As you'll find out soon here as well, because I will be doing my Royal Rumble, going through it quickly as well. So Tommaso Ciampa and Roman have a nice little match as well. And it ends with DQ when Solo interferes and then the Bloodline gets in and Ciampa's beating him down. Johnny Gargano comes to make the save, but he gets beaten down as well. So Nick comes out and says, well, Roman won all 3, so he won't be number 1, but we're not going to tell you, but we'll do it at the event. Okay, the Royal Rumble I've got here as well. I'm going to go through it quickly as well, so just stick with me. Number 1, Johnny Gargano. Number 2, Tommaso Ciampa. They have a bit of a to-do because they're feuding in my world and that. So then we have number 3, Bronson Reed. Bronson shows his dominance for a bit. Then we have number 4, it's R-Truth. But what's this? R-Truth's got a special referee shirt on. What the hell is he doing? Goes to the ring. Johnny Gargano super kicks Bronson Reed. He's down the thing. And Truth is saying, cover him. So Johnny covers Bronson Reed. R-Truth counts 1, 2, 3. R-Truth raises Johnny's wrestling's arm, and Johnny goes, what are you doing, Truth? And he goes, isn't this a special referee match? He goes, no, this is Rumble. And Truth goes, oh, my bad. This is going back to when Truth brought a ladder into the Royal Rumble, entered the females Rumble one year, and then did a hot tag at last year's Rumble. Just playing on that character. I thought it was quite funny. I don't know how you guys thought it was. Let me know if you thought that was funny or not, or I'm just sitting there. Anyway, number 5. We hear we have a look at the entrance. We see he's now Matt Rennell in TNA, but they have Aiden English along the bottom. He gets on the mic. He goes, he would just like to witness everyone a happy Rusev Day. Number 5 is Rusev. Comes out to what I think would be a great pop. Okay. Rusev comes out, stands toe to toe with Bronson Reed. Splashes him in the corner. Rusev eliminates Truth. Yeah, I didn't want Truth to get eliminated so quickly, but, I'll pad up Rusev's eliminations. Then eliminates Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano and Bronson Reed as well. So it's just Rusev left in there. Number 6 is Shinsuke Nakamura, the US champion, because Rusev and Shinsuke were a tag team and a really good tag team as well. They have a little bit of a fight. Number 7 is L.A. Knight. Yeah! Just to continue their feud as well. The 3 get into it, do some things as well. Number 8, Trick Williams. Gets the old entrance as well. The crowd popped for that, I feel like. Number 9, Oba Femi as well, because they were going to have a match. I don't know, in this world they would have had their match as well. I think I'd have Oba as the NXT champion as well. So they have a bit of a to-do and all that stuff as well. They're all fighting with each other and that. Then we have number 10, Drew McIntyre. He gets in, cleans up, eliminates Rusev, Shinsuke, and LA Knight. And then at the same time eliminates both Trick and Obafemi, who are on the ropes, trying to eliminate each other. Just Drew left in the ring by himself at the minute. Number 11, Sami Zayn. Of course, they're having a bit at the minute, so we thought we'd get them as well. Number 12, we've got Jey Uso, and Jey and Sami team up on Drew for a bit as well. Then they look like they're about to go with each other. And then we have number 13, Karrion Kross. I'm trying to get through this quickly as well. Number 14 is Uncle Howdy. The lights go out. He appears in the ring with Karrion Kross. He does his thing with Karrion, and he eliminates. And he goes to eliminate him, and he eliminates himself as well. So they both eliminate each other as well. And while this has happened, Sami and Jey are having a bit of fight with each other and that. Again, they're on the ropes, and Drew sneaks up behind them, eliminates them both. So just once again, Drew Mack in the ring, waiting for someone, saying, come on, who's next? Number 15 is Pat McAfee, who is on the commentary. He slowly gets into the ring. He doesn't want to get in. Drew is just saying, come into the ring, and that'll be fine. And that he gets into the ring, and then he cops a Claymore straight away and is out, and that. So, just something I think would be quite funny. And that, unfortunately, they take him out of the commentary as well, so I don't know. Maybe in another thing I'd get him, just he'd eliminate himself and that, but anyway. Number 16, Roman Reigns. Get the entrance, the big pop, everything like that. Roman makes his way down. Him and Drew are going at each other and that. Fighting each other and that. And after about 30-40 seconds, Roman eliminates Drew. Jeez. And that, so Roman is waiting there. We get the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Roman's there waiting. He's saying, who's next? And we hear this.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
The crowd goes nuts. I'm talking, probably Legion is already, I don't know what Legion is doing. He's probably just had a big orgasm and that. Sorry to, don't know if that'll get taken out of that. So, Joe Hendry makes his way down to the ring, does the old, thing on the ring and that. Then he turns around and he just sees Roman looking at him with a scowl and that. They get in, they go nose to nose. But unfortunately, too much time has gone. We got number 18, Grayson Waller. Grayson comes out, attacks both Roman and Joe. In the corner and all that stuff. Then we get number 19, Austin Theory. Of course, they're the tag team, so they're going to team up on both Joe Hendry and Samoa. I was going to call him Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns. Then we have it where both Joe and Roman get the advantage and both eliminate Grayson and Austin Theory at the same time. And unfortunately, Joe Hendry is celebrating. As he turns around, he cops a Superman punch, and he's gone from the Rumble. A little bit of shine for Joe as well. I think I'd have him as a TNA champion in this world as well. Anyway.
You just broke my heart.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to have him win the Rumble because, wait for it, it gets better. Number 20, John Cena. The crowd is just like, I don't know how many pops there can be. There's probably been too many already, but we'll get them more. So John makes his way to the ring. We get the moment of John Cena, Roman Reigns. Since it is Cena's last year in the WWE as well, they get a moment in the ring where they're just looking at each other. And then they have a bit of a to-do. They both double close on each other as we get to the next one, number 21, CM Punk. CM Punk comes down. He has a bit of a fight with John, has a bit of a fight with Roman. Then we get to number 22, Seth Rollins. The star power is amazing already, and there's more to come, believe me, as well. All four in the ring, we're going to build up the ring a bit as well for the ending as well, which, just wait for it. And that. Number 23, if it is possible, is Brock Lesnar. All of them look towards the thing. Brock has finally returned after a long time out, and that Brock walks down, takes out Cena, takes out Rollins. I love to see a moment where it's Roman, Punk, and Lesnar all looking at each other, and then we have an image of Paul Heyman on the outside, wondering who has he come with and that. But we all know he's come with Roman and that. So yeah. Number 24, Josh Alexander from TNA. This guy makes his debut. Gets in the ring. I would love to see a little stare-off between him and Lesnar and that, because I think I would really like it. And that number 25 is Chad Gable, which will make sense in something else I'm going to do later on. And that Chad Gable gets in, has a bit with Josh Alexander. They're both ankle hold guys and that. So Chad gets the ankle hold on Josh, but Josh reverses it, eliminates Chad, and then Josh Alexander gets eliminated by Brock Lesnar and that. So number 26, Tama Tonga. Number 27, Tonga Loa. Wait a second. Number 28, Jacob Fatu. Hang on, 3 Bloodline members. What's going on here? Number 29, Solo. That leaves, who do you think is number 30? Number 30 is The Rock. He somehow made it so the last 5 entrants are the members of the Bloodline. And that we get a moment. We get John Cena, like, is gone a bit wild and that. He eliminates Tonga Loa. Then he turns around and he's face to face with The Rock. We get a little bit of moment like they had at WrestleMania 40. John Cena stupidly does this again, goes for the punch, Rock bottoms him, throws him out of the ring, just like he did at WrestleMania and that. So, and then we have the unlikely alliance of CM Punk, sorry, just looking at my notes here. CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and Seth Rollins versus Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, Solo, and The Rock. They're all on one side. It's an unlikely alliance, but they've got to do it to get, like, they would have no chance against the Bloodline and that. I'm probably going to cop a lot of flack for this, but I think this will be really cool. At once, if we can get The Rock to be eliminated by Brock Lesnar, Solo to be eliminated by, who did I have here? Solo to be eliminated by CM Punk, Jacob Fatu to be eliminated by Roman Reigns, and Tama Tonga to be eliminated by Seth Rollins, all at the same time. And that's so all those 4 have gone at the same time. Now, where we leave just the final 4. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, and Roman Reigns and that. So they have a bit of the final 4 stare off and that. And then at the same time, Roman eliminates Brock and Seth eliminates CM Punk and that. And then we're down to the final 2. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Seth is laughing because we all know when it's Seth and Roman, Seth always wins. And that, so they have their little bit of to do and all that stuff, and it ends with Roman actually eliminating Seth and actually getting finally a win over Seth as well. So Roman Reigns has won the 2025 Royal Rumble, and as you all know, he's going to challenge Cody and that. But anyway, let's get on to the next part. Sorry, I went a bit here. The SmackDown after the Rumble. Roman tells Paul to tell Cody to meet him in the ring, and they can make it official. As they're about to do it in the thing, we got Paul, Heyman, Cody, and Roman. The Rock appears on the screen and announces that at No Way Out, yes, I changed it from Elimination Chamber. It's just a little thing I want to do, okay? So don't hold it against me. They announced that at No Way Out, Cody versus The Rock for the title, and Roman versus Solo for the number 1 contender spot at Mania. Because The Rock wants to do it where the Bloodline will have the main event, and Cody and Roman can, be in catering or whatever, because he doesn't give a care about them and that. So we go to No Way Out. Roman just beats Solo, has a bit of a struggle on that. And Cody beats Rock with the help of Roman Reigns. The SmackDown after No Way Out. Cody says he didn't need Roman's help at No Way Out to win. So next week, let's make the match at WrestleMania official on that. So, all right, the next SmackDown after that, Cody's got his posse of Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Randy Orton. Meet with Paul Heyman, who has got the Usos. Roman's not there yet. Of course, he's not. He's too big and that. So, Cody hands Paul the contract for their match at WrestleMania. He says, Paul, look this over. We've got the contract signing later on, yada, yada. Please look at it. If there's anything you disagree with, come talk to me before it. Paul said, yeah, no worries, Cody, and that. So, Randy pulls Cody aside and says, I hope you know what you're doing. And Cody says, trust me again. A little drawback to what they said before Survivor Series and that. Anyway. Later on, Nick Aldis and Triple H are in the ring. As they invite both Roman. Roman comes out with Paul and the Usos. And then Cody comes out with his group. Yada, yada, yada. They're all sitting there. It's all a bit tense in that. But, Cody is just there. He offers to shake his hand. They don't look at the contract. They've already agreed on the contract, so they just sign at the bottom. And that, as they're both in the ring shaking hands, as the groups are in the corners and that, just clapping and all that stuff. Nick Aldis takes the contract and announces the match. So the match at Mania will be, and he pauses. He asked, who changed the contract? Both Roman and Cody look at him and go, what are you talking about? Well, there have been some stipulations that have been added to this. I don't know when. Number one, whoever loses the match will never get another title match again while the other guy is the champion. And number two, the match at WrestleMania will be a last man standing match. Cody looks shocked and slowly turns to Paul and starts yelling at him, saying, you did this? You want Roman to have the title again at any expense? Why are you doing this? I thought we had an agreement, Paul. Paul says that, no, like...
We see the parts you need to fix your...
Hang on, sorry, my bad, sorry. How Paul does, no, I don't know, Roman... Cody's getting really in front of, really up in Paul's grill and that. When Roman steps in front of him and says, hey, you talk to me, not to him, and that. And they go, and then we have, Randy, Sammy, Kevin pulling Cody back, and the Usos pulling Roman back, yada, yada, yada. 3 weeks before Mania, The Rock is back again. Now, I know people are probably getting sick of The Rock and that, but he's a big person in my story. The Rock announces that at Mania on night 1, and I know I've taken this from last year, but I just wanted to do it like this, because The Rock, these three don't have a match at Mania, and I want to give them a match of that. The Rock, Solo, and Jacob Fatu will take on Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and whoever they can get to team them in a 6-man tag the night before. And if you guys don't compete, your title match will be thrown out, and there'll be a new title. We'll have a one-on-one between Solo and Jacob, he says, for the new WWE title match, because he can make it and that. So Cody and Roman get in the ring at the end of the night saying, oh, we should have Jey Uso as the partner. No, let's have Randy Orton. Obviously, these guys don't have matches yet, so in real life they probably would have been that. But when we hear Seth Rollins' music and he comes out and he says, he looks at Cody, I said to you last year, Cody, I'll be your shield. Sorry. Pardon me, sorry about that. I would be your shield, and I will do it again. Even though you're teaming up with him, but I will be your shield again. I'll be your partner at Mania. So it's set. It's Roman, Cody, and Seth versus Rock, Jacob Fatu, and Solo on night 1. And then night 2, Roman versus Cody in a last man standing match. Anyway, we get to night 1. The match, I really don't want to go as long as the tag team match was this year, so I have it for maybe about 20 minutes. But once again, The Rock gets the pin on Cody Rhodes when Roman accidentally spears Cody. Rock smiles at Roman, saying thank you for that as they go up the ring at that. Night 2. It's Cody versus Roman in a last man standing match. They've had a singles match. They've had a bloodline rules match. I think it's the name. I'll probably butcher the name. Apologies. Now we're going to have a last man standing match as well. After about 20 minutes, we see in the back. The Rock is talking to the Bloodline. He says, "Go out there and let's ruin WrestleMania." And that. Would the Rock do it in real life? Probably not. But anyway. So we have Solo, Jacob, Tamatonga, Tungaloa. Their music hits. They're coming out. As both Roman and Cody have been belting the shit out of each other and that, and they're standing in the ring. They're tired and all that stuff. When we have the Usos, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton come out, they intercept them, and that. So they're not going to spoil it in that. So they intercept them in that. When all of a sudden, we go back into the ring. Cody and both Roman got to the ring. Cody goes for the disaster kick, accidentally hits the referee. The referee is down. He's down for the time being. Cody is there going, "Oh, what did I do?" As he turns around, there's a spear from Roman and that. Both are down, still exhausted from the previous 20 minutes. I'm sorry to do this, I had to do this. But then the lights go out. People are wondering what's going on here, what's happening. The lights come back on as 3 masked men are on the apron, looking in as Roman and Cody are just getting to they're on their knees and that, they're just getting to their thing. They have no chance against these 3 masked men. And that, when we hear the Shield music hit, Seth Rollins hits the ring. He comes down with 2 chairs. He's got a chair for himself, and he hands the other chair to Cody and that. And he just said, "I would be your shield to both of you guys. We're going to fight these guys off," etc., etc. We get the close up of Roman as Roman doesn't have a chair, and he's just there, doing the come on and all that stuff. A really big close up of Roman as a chair hits Roman in the back of the head, back of the back. Sorry, not the head, because that'd be very dangerous. And that. The crowd are stunned as we see the revealing camera turns, not Seth hitting him, Cody hitting him. As Cody, sorry, I'm just, sorry, getting back to my thing. Where Cody has a like non, look on his face, like just a angry look on his face and that. We have a look over at Seth. Seth is looking down at Roman and looking at Cody going, "What the hell did you do that for?" As Seth goes to hit Cody with the chair, the 2 of the 3 masked men have gone in. They're actually grabbing on the Seth and they're holding him in the corner and that. As Cody picks up Roman and hits him with a crossroad. The ref finally gets back to his, gets back in that, and Cody is yelling, "Count!" As Michael Cole is screaming, "What the hell is going on here? Cody, what have you done?" And people actually now cheering for Roman and that, like saying, "Roman, come on, Roman, get up!" Roman gets up at 8, groggily. The masked man holds on to Roman as Cody goes to the outside, goes to the outside of the ring and finds a sledgehammer. Cody tells the guy to have Roman's back to him safely. And as Cody hits Roman in the back of the head with the sledgehammer. And the ref starts to count again and he gets to 10. Cody has won and the masked man holds Seth as Cody nails Seth as well. These 3 masked men, who the hell are they? We'll find out here soon enough. All of a sudden, we see Paul Heyman at the top of the ramp. He's there wanting help. He gets Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. They come down into the ring and that. So they get into the ring, all 4 of them. Like Paul and as Sami Zayn and KO go up to Cody. Cody has got just not like he's not there look on his face and that. Like he's looking straight through him. All of a sudden, Randy Orton spins Sami Zayn around and gives him an RKO. Kevin is looking down there going, "What the hell is going on?" As Paul Heyman has got to his feet and gives Kevin Owens a nut shot. I was trying to think was someone else to give him, but I think Paul Heyman would make sense in that. So goes for a nut shot as well. Owens is stunned. Cody then nails him with the sledgehammer. The three masked men to begin to reveal themselves. The first masked man is Ethan Page. The second masked man is Ricky Starks. The third masked man is Wardlow. Paul Heyman and Cody hug as Randy Orton hugs as well. We've got a new group in here. And that is how I would turn Cody Rhodes heel. End of story. I know you got questions for me. Ask straight away, Legion. He's stunned like the rest of you. I know you guys are. Were you expecting that?
No.
So, let me give you a bit of background as well. A few months ago, I was listening to The Undertaker talking on a podcast. Apparently, Cody was like outselling people with the merch and all that stuff. And Undertaker said, just wait till he turns heel. He'll sell double that. And I thought, you know what? I can make a story of that. And I did. So, and the name of the group, I know the people probably... I think Ethan Page and Cody Rhodes, they had a bit of a to-do in AEW and that. It's kind of a bit of an AEW invasion to WWE. And that's just we like the invasions. I know Ricky Starks is probably coming out of contract and Wardlow probably wouldn't come to WWE, but he's been wasted in AEW, just my personal opinion. The name of the group, I kind of, like I said, focus it as an evolution style. Like, Cody is the Triple H, Randy Orton is the Ric Flair, and then the other three are the young guys, and that Paul Heyman is like the mouthpiece, and that, not that they need a mouthpiece, but I think we'll break Paul away from Roman and that, so... Randy Orton is just a temporary person in there. He would turn on him by SummerSlam, and him and Cody would have a match, and that would be Orton's retirement as well. So yeah, the name of the group, I called it the Collective. I can't think of another name for them. That this actually sounds cool, and that. So yeah, any questions?
I'm actually stunned.
Is it a good stun or a bad stun?
A good stun.
Okay, cool. That's what I was hoping for. I know all the interference and all that stuff with the story on The Rock, and that probably... did you like the Royal Rumble as well?
I love the Royal Rumble, but the swerve for the Mania match is what got me.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I swear, now I'm starting to sound like Vince Russo. God. It's just how it turned Cody. I feel like a Cody heel turn is coming real soon. Maybe... after Mania, I feel like it'll happen. That's just my opinion. And that, yeah.
Possible.
So that's my story. Oh, and by the way, you know what my surprise is? You want to know?
That?
For those, the story next year, since the first couple of shows will be on John Cena's last year in WWE, how I'd book it. I've already started it, but since the Netflix, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to do a quick one on the Netflix. John Cena's debut up until the Royal Rumble and that. So basically what happened in the Rumble would happen in the story as well. So anyway, this is my John Cena's last year in the WWE as well. Raw debut on Netflix. John Cena comes out halfway through the show, has a bit of mic time, and that. Sorry, it's talking again. I apologise, but I'll quickly get through it as well. And he talks about, you know, starting with WWE, starting with Ruthless Aggression, where he slapped the shit out of Kurt Angle, you know, all the good times he's had in WWE, and he talks about why he's coming back for his last year. He wants to break Ric Flair's record. He is currently tied. He says he hopes by the end of the year he has one more world title in him. As he's saying this, Chad Gable comes out as well, an American made. Chad talks about how Kurt was his hero, and that slap has a 20-year receipt in the making, and he wants to challenge John to a match later tonight. Before John can even talk, Chad Gable slaps him and they get out of the ring and that. So John goes to Adam Pearce, says to make the match for the night. So later in the main event, John Cena versus Chad Gable. That a good little match to show how good of a athlete Chad Gable is, because I think he's really good. And that so ends with John Cena winning with the AA, and that you can't have him not coming back and losing straight away. So but then American Made at the end get their heat back, and that where and that so yeah, at the end of it, and that so then we go 2 weeks before Mania. 2 weeks before the Royal Rumble, American Made are backstage saying they throw down a 6-man challenge to John Cena and whoever 2 partners he can find. So John is out there. We don't know if he's actually got partner, but he does actually have a team there. He has the War Raiders with him, and they have a nice little 6-man match where Cena wins, Cena's team wins, and all that stuff. Bit of celebrating at the end. Then we have the Royal Rumble, of course, where he's eliminated by The Rock. And that's where I'll end the story because we'll get off from that. So I know you're still probably digesting the other story, but what do you think of that story? It's only a sample size. What do you think of that story so far? No, it's kind of what I think he needs to do as well. Announces he wants to break Ric Flair's record. So I don't know what you think, but yeah, that's the story I'm going with through the year, and that's so.
It's not a bad start.
Thank you. All right.
Forward to the finished product.
I'm already up to SummerSlam in my story, and you'll hear the rest of the story on the first edition next year. Anyway, we've gone over, and that's my fault, but it's fine. We got to go on with the next part, which is I'm just looking at the pinned message. After my story, it is the predictions. My bad. Okay, radio. I apologise. Promise next year we'll get a bit professional somewhere, so it's all good. Now, obviously, there's one match that we don't know the participants in that, so we're going to talk about this. The Final 4 at the minute, they're having matches on SmackDown in a couple of days. It's Bayley versus Chelsea Green, and why am I forgetting the other one?
Meechin versus Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, Meechin versus Tiffany Stratton. Thank you, and that. So, Bayley, probably should look up who they beat in the matches as well. So, do you want to quickly talk about? I think all 4 are good. Apart from Bayley, I think any of the other 3 would make a really good first champion. Personally, I'm just trying to look it up. The women's US title bracket. Sorry. Title bracket and tournament. I just want to see who they Bayley and that beat as well. Oh, come on. Yeah, but what are your thoughts as well on what do you think about the 4 initially, the Final 4?
The 4 is interesting, very interesting, because with the whole for example, like from with Bayley versus Chelsea Green makes it seem like it's a no-brain win for Bayley.
Bayley, yeah.
But I see it going the other way around with that one.
All right, so
like a trick.
Yeah. So Bayley defeated Candice LeRae and B-Fab, who I didn't think much of B-Fab as a wrestler, but she actually was really good in this match. You got to give her props in that. So I apologize to B-Fab in that. And Chelsea Green defeated Bianca and Blair Davenport. You know, hopefully they can push Blair Davenport a bit more. Personally.
Yeah, because she was doing really good back down at NXT. I think she could call them too soon.
Yeah. Then Mitchin defeated, wasn't Jade, it was Lash Legend and Piper Niven. And Tiffany defeated Alexa Lopez and Naomi and that. So the Final 4, you know, I think look, Bayley is amazing, but there's something about her that's off at the minute, so I really hope that Chelsea gets the win. And then on the other side, you know, Tiffany's got the money in the bank briefcase, so I wouldn't mind it being Chelsea and Mitchin, which you did say would probably be the final because they had the dumpster match a couple of months ago.
Yeah, like the rematch, and this should be Chelsea's redemption to win, and then winning the title.
Someone just said I got to say Chelsea Green the only one way. I can't get my voice up that high. I'm sorry, and that so.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, he's not doing it either. Look, obviously we don't know who's in the final yet, but I'll do my early pick because my early pick is I really want it to be Chelsea Green, even if it's just for a short reign. She has been one of the MVPs of women's wrestling this year for what she has done, and that so she is my pick at the minute. I got her for 2 points in that. So, what about you, Legion? What about you?
Yeah, I have her as well for 1 point.
Yeah. All right, 1 point. All right, let's get on to Liv versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. EO won a Fatal 4-Way. It was like about a month ago, and that, so... It was an interesting on Raw this week as well at the end of the Rhea Raquel match where the world title was there and we saw both Rhea and EO pick it up and that. So I think maybe that's for seeing a match at Mania. I still think it'll be Rhea and Liv at Mania, but I would not mind if they make it a triple threat as well. I feel this could be an amazing match as well. Liv has got Raquel. Obviously, EO has got damage control with her. So, it really is going to be interesting how this match goes. But I don't see Liv winning as well. I feel there's going to be a title change, and I will get to that later on. So, but I see Liv winning as well. What about you, Legion?
Yeah, this is a match that's hasn't been appreciated as much as it should. They kept they pushing the whole Rhea versus Liv over EO being number one contender, which is irritating and a lot of people. So this one's like a no-brainer. It's like Liv's gonna win this match.
Yep.
And I agree with you. They're gonna push the whole Liv versus Rhea till Mania, which that's a long time.
It is a long time. Maybe we can have some bumps on the road as well. Maybe. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know who the WWE title would be, but maybe with the transfer, maybe EO goes back to SmackDown, breaks up damage control. Who knows? It's just a thought as well. So yeah. Let's get on to a match that just added recently. Sami Zayn versus... I wish I could do the Scottish thing. Drew McIntyre!
By the way, that was my lock.
Sorry, my bad. That was your lock? The Liv.
Yeah, that one was my lock.
I humbly apologize. You are the champion. I bow down to you. I apologize.
You better.
Let's get on to Sami Zayn versus Drew. They've had to add... Drew, I would have loved if Drew had not been on till Royal Rumble and that, but with the injury to Bronson Reed, they needed a bit more star power and that, and he's come back. And this match seems a bit quickly done and that, so yeah. I think both Drew and Sami are going to have an amazing match at Saturday night's main event. I actually think this will be match of the night as well, so I'm thinking since Drew has come back, he's just come off a loss to CM Punk that he'll need to get a win, and I think he will win. Is my pick. I got Drew McIntyre. Your thoughts on the match?
I appreciate because I don't know if you saw the promo that he pulled off.
Sami or Drew?
Drew.
I did see. I need to remember it, and that. So
he pretty much said that he talked about the War Games match and the participants in it.
Oh yeah, how he's disgusted to see CM Punk and Roman, and that. So yeah.
But Punk took a bribe to be in the match, which I'm like, he pretty much saying that he respects him in that fashion. I'm like, wow. If you read between the lines, you understood that.
Yeah, that's actually good. I didn't think about that. That's actually a good way of thinking about that. So yeah.
Yeah, because he respected him for taking a bribe in order to be in that match.
Yeah.
But for Sami and Jay, the people he attacked, joined for no reason, just because in his eyes.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I'm like, I can see that. That's a good reasoning for a jump like that. Because most reasonings are like what makes no sense, but this was makes perfect.
Yeah.
But Sami versus Drew McIntyre, I see it being more one-sided than anything. So I see Drew coming out.
Kind of a squash, you would think.
Kind of, yeah. But I see, of course, Sami getting his punches in.
Yeah.
But Drew's gonna I see Drew just dominating.
Okay. Yeah, I got Drew for 3. What about you?
I got him for same 3.
Okay. Now we've got it was just originally supposed to be Gunther versus Finn Balor, but they added Damian Priest this week. As I said earlier on, I would have loved us to seen this a fatal 4-way match with Dominic Mysterio in as well, because I feel like they could have made this a really fun match. And that
this could have been a starting point to I hate to say it, I really do, to have Dominic turn face.
I feel like just from the applaudance he got on Raw, which I was shocked. Like I feel like a face turn might be incoming. Who knows? You did say to me we're in the era now of tweeners and that. Like it could be a tweener. You know, Bron Breaker's a bit of a tweener at the minute. There's like all people between faces and that. So, yeah, but Gunther once again, challenging Finn for what he did to basically the tarnish the match that he had with Damian Priest at Survivor Series and that. Like I said, I'm more than happy. Apparently, there's talk next year Finn getting a real big push, and that which I hope it can actually happen in that because he's deserved it. So
I pray.
Would you see him as a face or a heel with the push as well?
I prefer him as a heel because he's a great heel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't see Gunther.
I just don't want to see that. I just don't want to see that smile.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like I said, that forced smile. I don't. I'm a bit worried because Gunther is my lock in that. So yeah, I'm a bit worried, and that I see Gunther. Priest might get the his finisher on Finn, and then Gunther comes in, which could add more to you needed Priest to beat Finn so you could get the win, and that they could add more to that. So I don't know how they're going to end this, where they would stop, Gunther stop doubting himself and that. But yeah, that's my feelings. What about you? Who do you think is going to win?
This is going to be an interesting match, but I see like Priest and Balor more going at each other more than anything else.
Yeah, and Gunther just waiting there and picking up the bones.
Pretty much, yeah, they're going to attack Gunther. But in the end, I see Gunther just waiting to pick his bones. Priest hitting either Priest hitting the finisher on Balor or Balor hitting the coup de grace on Priest.
Yeah, and then
and here comes Gunther.
Yeah, that's what I see as well. And then the how many did you have for Gunther?
Just 4.
Just one.
Just 4 points.
Oh, 4 points. Sorry, my bad. And then probably what we think will be the main event. Cody Rhodes defending the WWE title against Kevin Owens. I'm saying it right now. Kevin Owens is going to win. Whether he wins the title or via DQ. But I'm going to say he's going to win the title in that because they've announced another Saturday night. By the way, why there's another Saturday night's main event just before the Rumble as well. The TV network, they say when they want the specials because they're 2-hour specials and that, so they're not actually pay-per-views and that. So I'm making a case. I've enjoyed Cody as a champion and that, but I think Kevin Owens is pretty damn effing hot at the minute with that, and that interview he had with Michael Cole on SmackDown in the car. Hilarious. Like it's I think even if it's just for a month, I think Kevin will win the title just for 1 month and then drop it to Cody before the Royal Rumble again, because I don't think Cody will be defending again at the Rumble, and that's just my opinion. And that's so yeah, I've got Kevin Owens winning the title, and I don't know if you're the same, but I just think it's going to happen, and that's so.
I'm just in utter shock that you went that way.
I just like it. Kevin Owens is real hot at the minute. Like,
no. I'm in utter shock that we are in agreement on this one.
I kind of thought you would agree. Damn it, you!
I did say before. I think before the show that you would be in shock with my picks, but I guess not. I'm more in shock for you.
No, I just like I heard a couple of people talking about maybe it's the time to put the title on Kevin for a bit.
But the thing is, my reasoning's a little different than yours, though.
Okay, why is your reasoning?
Because I'm after like reading into it, and like not only is he just red hot right now, but also reading that there's a rumor going around. I saw it this morning that Randy Orton will be returning at Saturday night's main event.
And he will cost Kevin. Cost Cody.
And he'll come out to look like he's gonna help Cody, but I think he's gonna RKO him.
Ooh. I wouldn't mind that. That'd be
pretty much kind of shocking Kevin, but you know how he is. He'll take the opportunity.
And then what? Then it'd be a triple threat where that'd be interesting. Yeah, Oh, how much have you got? I've got Kevin Owens for 1 point as well. What about you?
I have this for 2 points.
Okay, so I think we've gone the same on every pick again. So, yeah, wow, great minds think alike. Yeah, well, like you said, we still need to determine.
There's still a chance for one of us will lose.
Yeah,
depending on the way the matches go.
Yeah, depending on who wins the matches and all that stuff. So yeah, radio. Like I said, I'm all for like the Saturday night's main events in the past as well. I was just trying to think of a really because I actually was going to ask you the question, but you don't remember them. The one I don't know if you heard about this. The one where Andre the Giant beat Hulk Hogan for the title was like the biggest what the hell ever, and that with the referee switcheroo, and that's so. I see like I said, I see a market for Saturday night's main event as well. So I hope they're going to have like 4 a year. So yeah, I'm more than happy for this to be back as a special, and that's so. All right, let's move on to the next thing as well, which is our end of year awards as well. So, and then our end of year awards as well, and then we've got 5 things we want to see in WWE next year. In wrestling next year as well. And then I know we've gone a bit over time in that, but we'll quickly get through this as well. All right, let's go to our male star of the year. I'll give you my runner-up. My runner-up is Swerve Strickland from AEW. I just think he had a hell of a career push in AEW. Him and Hangman Adam Page, I'm going to spoil it now. That's my feud of the year as well. So sorry for the spoiler, but there we go. And that's so. It was hard to choose between him and my actual winner and that, but, he's my runner-up. But my winner for Male Superstar of the Year is Drew McIntyre, and I'll tell you why. You get told in January you're going to have a feud with CM Punk, and you're there, great. Then CM Punk gets injured, and you basically have got to carry the feud without really touching CM Punk, who, by the way, can sell himself on the mic and that. But for Drew to win the title at Mania and then lose it to Damian Priest to help Damian Priest star rise a bit. And then for him to win the Money in the Bank to lose it the same night as well and not be affected in any way. And then to have the 3 matches with Punk and by the way, look good in all 3 of them. That's why he's my Male Superstar of the Year as well. And he's since he's become a heel, I think he's actually still a better babyface, but as a heel, he gets it, and I think he's an amazing superstar. So he's my favourite male wrestler of the year, my MVP. What about you, Legion?
I didn't think of any runner-ups, to be honest.
Yeah,
but I agree with yours with Swerve Strickland. From what I've been hearing, I don't really watch because people who don't know, if they do know, I don't really watch AEW.
I watch all the
all
the matches.
From the stories and the things I've been seeing about him throughout the year.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that runner-up.
Yep.
And I also agree with you about Drew McIntyre 100%.
Yep.
I'm with you on that one because he's my pick for the match of the year. And you actually gave the explanation of why I picked him.
Okay, well, I'm really sorry. How about you do the female superstar of the year then? So I won't take your thing. I'm a bit worried now. Go ahead.
No, that one, because me and you were on the same page on that, because I had a feeling me and you would have picked the same person. Because that was one hell of a year he's had. He carried that feud. I'm sorry, we're both Punk fans, but he carried that feud.
Yeah, and did it brilliantly as well, so.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Okay, who's your female superstar of the year?
My female superstar of the year has pretty much turned her career around completely starting at the beginning of this year, because nobody thought she would go anywhere. Hell, people thought she would be released by the way her career was going. And then one small little incident happened that just sparked probably one of the best women's feuds so far. And I probably have to go with Liv Morgan on this one.
I'm just glad that we didn't choose the same person this time, so I'm not taking your thing. So, but yeah, okay. Liv Morgan.
Because if you think about it, her career, nobody really cared much about her, especially when she finally went singles. Her thing with freaking what's her name?
Ronda Rousey.
Lana. With Lana.
Oh, Lana.
When she first came back.
Oh yeah. Yep.
As her quote unquote lover.
Thing,
and then with Ronda Rousey, that went over like real fast.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then went away real fast. And then she got injured, then came back, got injured again by Rhea Ripley, but then turned that into a storyline for her as a quote-unquote revenge tour.
Yep.
Which I honestly thought it wasn't going to go anywhere. I thought it was just going to be a one-off thing and be done.
Yep.
But look what's been going on so far. She's actually been carrying herself as like one. She's actually a great heel.
Yeah, she is.
Singles
Yeah,
heel.
she really is. Yeah.
And I didn't think so.
Yep.
I thought she was going to be like a tweener, but no, she went full on heel, and she's been just carrying the women's division to new heights.
Yep. It's a really good pick. And that, are you done? Or?
What's your women's?
Well, see, I did have my runner-up was Liv Morgan for what you just said, but actually, my female wrestler of the year is Jordan Grace from TNA.
Huh.
Because
I can see this.
yes, because for her to from another company to go to the company's one of the big 4 pay-per-view events of the year, like the Royal Rumble, and I actually did pick it in the surprise entrance. I thought she'll be. Oh no, sorry, that's Naomi I picked. Sorry, that's when she returned. Anyway, sorry about that. For her, but she had no ties with WWE, and they picked because she was a champion as well, and then to regularly appear on NXT as well, and she's had the 4th longest reign of the TNA women's title of all time as well, and she had a lot of good matches as well. She just recently lost it to Masha, sorry, and that, but she just went on bounds and bounds this year from what I saw of her wrestling, not only in TNA and WWE when she was on NXT. And I see her being on the WWE roster, if not next year, the year after, and that. So she is my female.
She did say she did say she wanted to come to WWE.
Yeah, so I see her being there because she looked really good as a wrestler as well. So I think she also had a match with Roxanne Perez, like for the title. I'm pretty sure, if I'm correct. Did that happen?
That was her debut singles match in WWE.
Yeah, and like the come from a different company to challenge the champion, like that's
That's a lie. There was a match right before that.
yeah. So yeah,
Still.
yeah, that's my female of the year. All right, let's go to the premium live event of the year or pay per view, however you like to say it. We're probably both going to say the same thing, so I'll let you go first as well. Who's your
Mine? I have to say it was for this year. I would have to say Bad Blood.
Oh, okay. We didn't go the same thing. Rightio.
Because the way the match opened up is what sold it for me.
Yeah, with Drew and Punk.
When you have an opening match with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk in a Hell in a Cell, and the way they did that match, completed that match, it's just how do you follow that?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that's true.
It's like the rest of the night, it was like a bore for the most part until the main event.
Yeah.
Like I said, that one match sold it for me. It's like, I love this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I'm glad they brought it back.
Yeah, I'm glad they brought it back as well. Like, I like those old style pay-per-views, as you could tell in my story when I brought back Armageddon and No Way Out as well. So, yeah.
And I'm also glad that they the way they started the match with Hell in a Cell is the one match that actually I can't think of the right word. Iconized or made the pay-per-view what it is, or was the Hell in a Cell, the first ever Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, it was in like it's associated with the pay-per-view is what you try. Like it's
right.
When you think of Bad Blood, you think of that Hell in a Cell match with Taker and
Shawn Michaels and Kane's debut.
Yeah,
yes.
Kane's debut, yes, and that. So, well, that's good. Mine is I'm kind of a bit of cheating as well. So, my my pay-per-view of the year was Night 2 of WrestleMania. Now, I know I have to include Night 1, but up until Sami Zayn and Gunther on Night 1, like I thought, oh God, we're going. Because ever since we've had 2 nights of WrestleMania, one night has been amazing, and the other night has been pretty poor, to say the least.
And usually it's night 1 that's been pretty good.
Usually it's
really
night
good.
1 that's amazing, and then night 2 is pretty poor in that. But this year's night 2, like, we start off with the, like, as I said, Drew and Seth for the title, then the whole Punk and Drew thing, and then we have Priest cashing in, set it up. And then the match, like, I was not expecting this match to be good, but Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus a Final Testament in a Philadelphia street fight. Thank God they had the street fight as well, because that actually made the match really fun. I feel like it was one of the sleeper matches of the weekend. Like, I wasn't expecting those 6 to have a good match, but they actually pulled out a really good match, and I think them having the Philadelphia street fight as well. I'm just trying to pick up trying to get the other matches as well that I'm forgetting as well. But yeah, adding Bubba Ray as well to the match as well as the special referee was a really good move, and I think helped the match as well. So let's go to night 2 as well. Don't mind me as I scroll down. It's fine. It's all good. So then we had LA Knight versus AJ Styles. You can say what you want about that. Good for AJ Styles to make LA Knight a bit of a, like, give him a win at WrestleMania as well, make him look good. Then we had the triple threat.
I think AJ boosted his LA Knight stardom even higher than it should have.
Yeah. Then we had Logan Paul defeating Randy and Kevin. The funny moment with, Kevin Owens coming down in the cart and then Randy beginning the walk and like Kevin reversing back and saying, "You want to lift down?" And that I really liked. It was a really good match as well, but
that was amazing.
I kind of liked the funny thing as well. Like they actually had a really good match between the three of them as well. And then, Bayley getting her moment against Io Sky. It was a really good match. Like the reign afterwards has been a bit iffy in that, but just good to see Bayley get her moment in a really good match. And then what else can we say about Cody and Roman in the main event? Like, the end game of wrestling with, the Usos coming out, John Cena coming out to take on Solo, then The Rock, then The Undertaker appearing, then Seth Rollins as a Shield. Like, was it overbooked as hell? Yes. But was it a lot of fun? Yes. And that. The only other way I kind of wish they were talking about having Austin come out and then stunning The Rock, which I know Taker, was a good replacement, but God,
and the thing is, you saw the interview with Taker about that whole segment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the last minute.
Yeah, it was the last minute. Like they apparently had Austin, and then at the last minute he said no. I don't know if that stadium had a roof, but if it had a roof, it would have popped if Austin had come out. Like they would have just, and that. So that's my. I know I cheated because I should include night 1, but night 1 only had the last 2 matches were good ones with Sami Zayn, Gunther, and the Bloodline versus Cody and Seth. But yeah, that's my pay-per-view of the year, and that night 2 of WrestleMania.
Honestly, I try to avoid WrestleMania as my pick because WrestleMania is always a big one.
Yeah, I know, but if it's really good, you gotta pick it in that. So let's go on to feud of the year as well. Since I already said mine, I'll just go on mine. Swerve versus Adam Page, and I was nearly going to go Punk and Drew, but for what Swerve Strickland and Adam Hangman Page have done has made me a Adam Hangman Page fan, which as a face he was, I feel like, as a face I don't know, but as a heel he is amazing. The stunts they've had with him out the front burning Swerve's house and that image as well. Then the match they had at All Out, I think, or All In, one of them, where it was in a steel cage, and they had a syringe that, a syringe and a real cinder block as well. Like, it's been easily the feud of the year for me, and that's so. I can't really talk more. Like, I know AEW are having trouble with other things, but they, for me, did the feud of the year, and that's so well done to them. What about you, Legion?
I'll kind of agree with you, but I really didn't watch that feud.
Yeah.
So I can't really say much on that.
Yeah.
And I already gave hints on what my feud of the year was throughout this entire thing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it was Punk versus McIntyre, 100%.
Yep.
Is that as Punk's first official feud back? That's just amazing. And then, of course, as we said before, McIntyre just carried that feud to what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's because I can't really talk much more about
it.
No,
because we've already talked too much about it anyway. So if you want to hear more things, just go back to a couple of minutes of that. All right, Breakout Star.
Yep, exactly.
I think we've both got the same one. I've got Braun Breaker. You?
I have a runner-up for this one.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
All right. Okay. Who's your runner-up?
My runner-up is, of course, my boy, Joe Hendry, because he's had an amazing beginning of the year, the way it started.
Yep.
Like in the beginning, like really towards at the end of last year, nobody really knew much about him until social media. This thing on social media hit.
Yep.
And then he just blew up out of nowhere within a matter of 2 days, 3 days. He just blew up. And yeah, that he's my runner-up.
Yep.
And me and you agree on who the breakout star of the year is Braun Breaker.
I
He's
mean,
just
yeah.
been amazing.
We could have also, like, I had my runner-up as Tiffany Stratton, because just from when she debuted at the Rumble, she came third, I'm pretty sure, on the Rumble. We might have to look at it.
So.
Yeah. And then for her star, her star making appearance was at the Elimination Chamber. Number one, for her to get cheered, and then she just was amazing in the Elimination Chamber. But yeah, Braun Breaker, like, strap the rockets to this guy. This guy is going to be amazing in 2025 as well. Do you see him winning a major title, like the world title, next year?
I see it probably this next year.
Yeah.
That I foresee either in 2025 or 2026.
I will say
he's
lost to Sammy first off. I thought, okay, it didn't make sense, but then it did make sense. I thought, okay, it actually made sense with what happened at SummerSlam, and
I kind of predicted that.
Yeah, and then for Jay to win the title, but then get a cost. Yeah, but he's just got all money over him. So those are our picks and that. So do you agree with those picks? Let us know your male wrestler, female wrestler, pay-per-view, feud, breakout star, and that. So, but now we're going to go to 5 things we want to see in 2025. We'll go one by one. I'll go first as well. We'll see how many of these we get the same one as well. My number one thing is more TNA NXT crossovers, and even to that extent, WWE crossovers as well. Like, you know, when AJ comes back, I wouldn't mind seeing him in TNA. You know, giving
that would be amazing.
Yeah. I'd like to see more mainstream as well. I'm trying to think of any other WWE main roster guys who are from TNA, but that would be my number one thing, because they've been brilliant for both companies. More, I feel, WWE, because WWE got to see who the next young talents are and that. So maybe give.
It's like they perched open the forbidden door a little bit with the whole NXT TNA thing.
Yeah.
But they need to open it a little more for main roster stars, like you just mentioned.
Yeah, AJ, and like I know Shinsuke was in TNA. I can't think of any other names. I don't know. And that, so CM Punk, if he wants to go back, he was in TNA. So that's going back a while. So yeah.
He was in TNA. Oh, he was.
Yeah, he was. Like at the start, he was there. So yeah. So I don't think he would, but yeah, it'd be funny. What about you? What's your?
Mine. I've actually been saying this for quite some time. I really want to see the end of the Bloodline storyline. This is what, 4 years now?
2020.
It's been going on.
2020. So yeah.
Yep. It's 4 years going on.
Yeah.
And it's starting. I wouldn't say starting. It's been this way. It's really getting dull. It needs to end. And hopefully, like, I hope my prediction is right about what happens at Mania, where that storyline finally comes to an end.
I feel like it will come to an end at Mania, and that maybe.
Yeah, because right now it's drowning out other storylines going on right now within WWE.
Okay. Well, rightio. My number 2 thing: stability in AEW. I'm already challenging you next year to how you would improve AEW, but I just want to see stability in AEW. Oh. If that means they got to get someone in from the outside to right the ship, do it, because this is not a knock on AEW. Like I said, they've had the feud of the year they've got some of the most incredible stars in AEW, like Swerve Strickland, Hangman. I'm trying to think of stars who have never been in WWE, and I know I picked Swerve, which I shouldn't have picked him, but he's made his money. He's made his star in AEW, and that, you know, like Hangman Adam Page. I could go a lot of list of the guys in there, but I just want stability, because competition is good for both companies as well, because then, you know, it's just really good for wrestling, because we like wrestling here as well. So I want to see AEW succeed. I want to see TNA succeed. I want to see, I'm trying to think, New Japan succeed as well. So that's my number 2 thing. I want stability in AEW, and that. So what about you? What's your 2 thing?
I 100% agree with you on that, but I've been saying it for quite a while. But on the whole AEW stability thing, that's what I want.
Yeah. And
trust me, when you said you want me to do stuff about AEW, I already have like freaking lists ready.
You'll see.
I'll shrink it to like the 5 or 6 picks that I'm gonna go down.
Yeah, just if you can, like 5 or 6 main things you would see done in that. So, was that your?
But what I want to see is I think you talked about in your story, honestly, and actually your little sneak peek story, I want to call it,
Yep.
is John Cena breaking Flair's record.
Do you think that...
I really do. I really want to see it. I think it will happen.
I'm going to do in my story where he will do it at the end. Like, it'll be right at the end. Like, he'll win the title. I'm sorry to spoil the story straight away, but he'll win the title and then that'll be it. Like, that's his last night in wrestling, and that's so... I don't know how good that'll be and that, but I might have to change the story and that. I could go to story a couple of ways and that, but yeah. Do you think at the minute how the WWE is, they'll have him have a world title win?
Be honest, no. Do I want it? Yes.
Yeah, I think most of the guys who are...
I see him putting over the younger talent who's holding the current titles.
Yeah.
Over himself.
Yeah. Do you see him? You know how the way is, like, when you lose your last match, you lose. Do you see him losing his last match ever?
Honestly, if I had to pick, no. Reason being, because the match I want to see, his last match ever, is him versus Punk, the man he's never beaten.
No, he's beaten Punk.
Cena beaten Punk?
On a Raw, he beat Punk. Before, it was the Mania where Punk took on Undertaker. And that. So he beat him in that. So it was like when...
My memory's slipping.
Yeah, John Cena pulled out a Hurricanrana on Punk as well. And we all went, what the hell? Like, it's from 20...
Is this when he was U.S. champion?
No, this is when Rock and Rock were the, like, twice in a lifetime match.
Oh.
Yeah. It's when Punk took on Undertaker at Mania, like, a few weeks before, like, they had a match in that, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And that. I really hate saying this now that I've just, effed up your story and that, but yeah. John has beaten Punk before.
They had a great feud.
Yeah, so I still wouldn't mind, Punk and Cena being the last match in that, so yeah. I feel really terrible now that I've had to say that to you. I wish I'd shut up. All right. Do you want to hear my number 3?
Yeah, what's your number 3?
Because I think you're going to agree with my number 3. As I go to this, Joe Hendry wins the world title. That's all I'll say. Which world title?
His name and he appears.
I was waiting for the clap bit. Anyway. Whatever world title that is, I see Joe Hendry winning a world title next year. I'll just leave it at that. What about you? What's your 3?
I'll say I didn't even think about that one.
Wow! I'm thinking of a Joe Henry, and you're not. Wow!
But I'm thinking of something for you now. Your favorite, CM Punk, getting his main event at Mania.
See, the thing is, what is technically the main event? Like, it would be night 2 of Mania, not night 1. Like, I know they're including night 1 as the main event, but technically it's not. Like, there's another. Anyway, it's I really hope for that as well. So yeah. Do you still see it being Seth Rollins? Who do you see? Obviously, you see it being Punk and Rollins. Hopefully, yeah.
It has to be Punk and Rollins.
So
it has to.
So would Rollins be the heel or would Punk be the heel?
I would say Rollins being the heel.
Yeah, I actually think they're going to start because with him rolling up Sammy after the chair like that match where Sammy was going to hit him with the chair or not, and then he rolls him up. It was kind of a bit heelish as well, and that so taking advantage of him as he just threw down the chair and went to him and that. So I think they've started sowing the seeds where Seth will actually turn. So, which I'm all for, and that. So
I think this is gonna be like a slow turn compared to last time.
Yeah. You want to hear my number 4?
Yep. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is I know I've kind of copied it just from the Joe Henry thing, but Oba Femi does a main roster debut and wins the title as well. So,
ooh.
Yeah. I'm trying to think which roster he would be on.
I would say have him on was it Raw with the Intercontinental Championship?
Imagine a match between him and Bron Breakker. Like what?
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah, that's I think that's a WrestleMania match that we need to have, and that's I'd have him on SmackDown the start.
I'm trying to keep this PG. Don't do that.
I'd think I have him on. I think there's really no good place because I think maybe Raw is the place because SmackDown. Yeah, I just see he needs to come to the main straight away, and that's so. I know they're probably going to bring up like Trick probably as well, but I think the potential of this guy is amazing, and that's so yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Your number 4?
My number 4 is something I'm hoping will happen. I doubt it, but I'm like praying. It's a Big E return. I know I say it every year, but this one I see it more because since he came during that New Day thing,
yeah,
I see it being more of a possibility.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
As long as they can do it without him, the risk of him hurting himself more, like I really hope that they can do it, and that
even if it's in a manager role.
Yeah. Yeah.
In some fashion.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Can you give us your 5 because I really want to end on my 5 as well. So.
Say that one more time.
Can you give your number 5 because I want to end on my number 5, and that I think my number 5 would be good.
My number 5 would be giving. Yeah, all mine were WWE related.
Yeah.
Mine is Jey Uso getting a proper singles title. Because that Intercontinental title run was like more of a bloodline push.
Yeah, just a filler.
It was just a filler.
Yeah.
It was like what?
It was more to add to like the War Games match and that. Like, now Jay has a reason to join Roman because Solo cost him the Intercontinental title and that.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Now that the whole bloodline thing should be over, give him a proper singles title push, even if it's another mid-card title, another Intercontinental title run.
Yeah. I actually wouldn't mind seeing him. I know. If the stories are true that Roman is coming to Raw, like I wouldn't mind him going to SmackDown, personally, and being in the US title match, like title hunt, would be good. You can imagine him matches with Shinsuke, LA Knight. You got the Yeet versus Yeah, and that which they've already done.
Actually, I remember they teased that.
Yeah, it was a Money in the Bank. I'm pretty sure they teased it.
Yeah, it was Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
They did the Yeet and Yeah freaking chance.
Yeah, so it would probably mean LA Knight would probably have to play heel, but I'm all for it because I think LA Knight's better as a heel, and that's so. But he'll still get cheered anyway, so yeah. All right, so my number 5 is as I look into the camera, let's enjoy wrestling. Let's get over this tribal BS crap. I just want to enjoy wrestling, even if it's wrestling in a bingo hall or something like that. Like a small timer. Versus, are you AEW? Are you WWE? I'm wrestling fan and that. So let's not kick AEW while they're down and that. They'll hopefully get through their things. WWE ain't perfect. TNA ain't perfect. No one's perfect apart from Mr. Perfect, but that's a different story. Let's just enjoy wrestling, okay? Yes, we're gonna.
Because I'm gonna get this out in the open because I know I know I said this to you off camera and all that.
Yeah.
Because you know we're both big WWE fans.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, yeah.
When Vince ran it, I couldn't stand Vince, but I still loved WWE.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I still loved everything about it.
Yep.
Do I like AEW? Yes. I like what they do, but do I like Tony Khan? I already went through that. We don't have to reiterate what happened with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not saying, oh, you hate the owner means you hate the company. No, that's two separate things.
Yeah.
Like to the people out there, like you may. Like, if you hate, for example, Triple H or Tony Khan or any other owner of a company, that's fine. We're all entitled to that. Just don't say, oh, because you hate him, you hate the company. Don't do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's certain wrestlers in WWE I don't like. There's certain wrestlers in AEW and TNA I don't like. But, I appreciate what they do to their, to entertain us. They're literally shortening their lives, basically, as well. So, good on them, and that's yeah.
Yeah, I hope Darby Allin survives another year.
Oh God. Anyway, that's the end of our.
Those who know.
That's the end of our 5 things as well that we want to see in WWE. We might keep this list and see how many of them actually happen as well. So yeah. Well, that's it.
That went a lot longer.
That's on me due to the story and that. I might have to.
It's fine.
I might have to do a pre-recording of the story and then time. So because sometimes I'm looking down and I'm effing up in that. So, that's the end of not only the podcast but our podcast for 2024 as well. Just getting to the thing here as well. Don't mind me. I just for me personally, like this started off last year as a kind of a. Originally, this was going to be me and a friend of mine called Shiny Toy Gun, who unfortunately passed away in 2022. And I kind of put it off for a year and that, and I thought, you know what, I at least want to try it. Yes, a lot of people doing podcasts, especially Reddit's looking podcasts and that, but it's been my obsession since I was a little kid, and I love it. As I call it, it's opera for rednecks as well. So I want to thank as well. Number one, I want to thank Legion for being the co-host as well. Talking, just could not do it without you, because me talking for 2 hours, I normally do that in streams and that, and like when I'm doing video games and that, and God, I don't know how people can listen to me for 2 hours and that, but yeah, I appreciate the difference of opinions as well, which we do both have. Yep.
And just a little behind the scenes of the name of the show itself.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what SLS stands for, do you want to give them an insight on that one? Or one of those what it means?
Well, one of them
Since you talked about it.
Yeah, one is it's the Shiny Legion Sugar Ray Wrestling Podcast, and that. So, so he'll always be here. I've been meaning to actually get a because I got a little pin of him, so I've been meaning to put that in somewhere, which we'll probably revamp the show for next year. Try a bit more. Having a looking bit better, and that's so. But yeah, I just saying, and also thank you to the guys who apparently got a bit of a following as well on YouTube. I really do appreciate you guys listening to our opinions and that, whether we're right or wrong. They're just our opinions. You can't be right or wrong on an opinion, and that, I think, is that the saying, or am I effing that up?
You're right.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah. So, Legion, is there anything you want to say?
I want to end this with a simple question to everybody, since today was a special day of MVPs. Who do you guys think is the MVP or MVPs throughout the year of 2024?
Whatever you do, put it in YouTube and all that stuff. So, from what we see next year is the first pay-per-view is going to be Saturday night's main event, but we might wait till the Royal Rumble, a couple of days before the Rumble, before we do another show on that. But we will be back in 2025 as well, and hopefully do some other things as well. I just thank you again to everyone for joining us. I really don't know what to say. Sorry for the longer show as well. I do apologize. That's on me. So we'll try and get it back to the hour and a bit next year and that. So, but for the last, but for the last time in 2024, here's Legion.
Oh no, there it is. Hi, bye.
So, what presents have you got under your Christmas tree before we head off as well? Just curious.
Oh, I got a little birdie.
A little birdie, God. Sound like my cat. He's Legion, I'm Sugar Ray. We'll see you in 2025. Enjoy wrestling. Have a very Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. All that stuff. Just enjoy whatever the food is over the Christmas break as well. And we will see you in 2025. So, thanks again. We'll see you in 2025. Bye-bye.
Bye.